Okay, so I couldn't help but not talk about this because the similarities are so striking that I have to. Okay, so as any 21 Pilots fan knows, you know, the Next Semester music video came out yesterday. And with the Next Semester music video, there's a lot of speculation as to what it is referring to. A lot of people think that it's referring to suicide, which is like the outward meaning of the song according to people who are interpreting it. But I am interpreting it differently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to a part of the song, and then I'm going to analyze what what is in the song, okay? And then I'll break down what I think the song is referring back to. In fact, it's so close in relation that I almost wonder if it's not exactly about this. Let me see if the desktop audio, it is on. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to just play the first minute and a half or so, and I'll analyze it. Okay, so I will get back. I will let it play, but I don't want to be here is very important to my analysis. Anyway, I'll let it go. I'll come back to this in a little bit. It's a taste test of what I hate less. Can you die of anxiousness? I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. What's about to happen? Okay, so right here, his tattoo, either they're tattoos or they're like either it's tattoos or it's like the paint around his neck and hands where he's not actually tattooed there, it's just paint. So whatever these are, this looks like a door and this looks like a window. That will be important later. I will continue. What's about to happen? Certain things, what I was wearing, the yellow dashes in the street. Okay, so what I was wearing, the yellow dashes in the street, obviously, anybody who's following with the storyline of 21 Pilots in the first place, sorry if I sound shaky, it's because I'm shivering because it's cold in here. Anyway, so I remember certain things, what I was wearing, the yellow dashes in the street, is most likely referring to Clancy being trapped in Dima, and the idea that whenever a normal person or prisoner of Dima escapes from Dima and is therefore caught, they are then brought back, or is recaptured, brought back to Dima, and their memory is wiped. So all they can remember is like their name and stuff, right? But like their memory is completely wiped of anything they saw outside of Dima. Whereas Clancy, in the Clancy letters, is referred to as the exception. Which is basically referring to the fact that Clancy, when he in the events of Trench, between Jumpsuit, Nico and the Niners, and Levitate, the music videos at least, where he was captured, where he escaped, he was recaptured, he escaped again, and he was recaptured, and so on and so forth, all that stuff. Obviously, it wasn't showing all of the captures, it was just kind of playing into the music videos. And the lore of it all. And so in other words, Clancy has been captured, or has escaped and been recaptured several times already. And so him saying, I remember certain things, the yellow line, or what I was wearing, and the yellow dashes in the street, is referring to the fact that he came back and they tried to wipe his memory, but he still remembered some things. He remembered what he was wearing, which would be his jumpsuit. If I had to guess, I'm not saying that for sure, but if I had to guess, it would be his jumpsuit. Obviously, it's the clothes he's wearing here in the picture or the still photo. But that's just my assumption on that line. And then the yellow dashes in the street, obviously, yellow is the color that the bishops cannot see. So it's what the banditos wear to camouflage themselves, obviously. And obviously, in this scenario, yellow dashes in the streets are just referring to the road markings. But what I assume is referring to in terms of lore is he still remembers the banditos. He hasn't fully forgotten about them. Each time that he gets abducted or recaptured and put back into Dima after escaping for a while. And so that's what I believe the line is directly referring to. Anyway, I will continue.
I prayed those lights would take me home. Then I heard, hey kid, get out of the road.
So this part is very, very telling, because very eye-opening to me. When I've listened to this song about a dozen or more times already, and I was deciphering new things every time I listened to it. But this one is probably the most obvious, but then I missed it for some reason. So I prayed those lights would take me home, but then I heard, hey kid, get out of the road. So this is kind of the thing where people were like, oh, he's talking about suicide. And he's saying, oh, well, if I just stand in front of this car and get hit, I can go home or wherever. But I don't believe that's the case. So if we go to 21 Pilots' March to the Sea lyrics, I won't sing it because I'm not that good at singing. But I will go over a few things. So I will just read the lyrics. So there's miles of land in front of us, and we're dying with every step we take. We're dying with every breath we make, and I'll fall in line. A stranger's back is all I see. He is only a few feet in front of me, and I'll look left and right sometimes, but I'll fall in line. No one looks up anymore, 'cause you might get a raindrop in your eye, and heaven forbid they see you cry as we fall in line. And about this time of every year, the line will go to the ocean pier and walk right off into the sea, and then we fall asleep. So this, I believe, is calling directly back to neon gravestones. Because think about it. In the lore of Dima, every year there is like a ceremony, or like once or twice or however many times a year. It's fuzzy to me, but I believe it's once a year. All of the citizens of Dima gather around in this, mess hall thing, a temple or church, whatever. And they perform the Glorious Gone ceremony, which is where they take someone who has fully succumbed to vialism or fully committed themselves to vialism, which means they have taken their own life. And they're used as they're given a neon gravestone. And it's basically just it's kind of like the final fulfillment that members of Dima or residents of Dima can do to like appease their religion. Basically, it's like a false religion, and vialism, or the final ultimate act of vialism, is the Glorious Gone. Anyway, with that out of the way, It sounds a lot like this. About this time of every year, the lion will go to the ocean pier and walk right off into the sea, and then we fall asleep, which is obviously referencing you walk off the pier and you drown and you go to sleep, which means you unalive yourself because you're voluntarily walking. Okay, and so as we near the end of land and our ocean graves are just beyond the sand, I ask myself the question why I fall in line. So what makes me think this calls back to neon gravestones, besides the whole, like, you're intentionally in a line, you're walking and you feel like you have no other purpose and you're just existing to walk off the edge of the earth and die. Sorry, unalive. And unalive yourself and commit to vialism. But then you have, and as we near the end of land, ocean graves are just beyond the sand. Ocean graves, neon gravestones. Obviously, that's kind of like a faded comparison because it says ocean graves are just beyond the sand. But also, you got to remember, in the current lore, like where it stands as of right now, until we decipher the lore based off of Clancy, at least based off the the outside music video where he goes across the Paladin Strait to the island. I don't remember the name of the island, but this is kind of just me making a video off a whim, so bear with me here. And the Paladin Strait is a strait of water. It's a body of water. And our ocean graves are just beyond the sand, right? And so obviously that's where the connection kind of not severs, but the connection is very vague, but then it picks right back up. Then out of the corner of my eye, I see a spaceship in the sky and hear a voice inside my head, follow me instead. Basically, he's saying, I see a spaceship, and spaceships probably have lights. He sees a great light or a spaceship in the sky. And he hears the voice inside of his head says, follow me instead. In other words, don't walk off the edge of the earth. Follow me, or get out of the road. You see the connection? Then we get, and it says, follow me instead, follow me instead, follow me. It repeats it 3 times. Then the wages of war will start inside my head with my counterpart, and the emotionless marchers will chant the phrase, this line's the only way. The emotionless marchers, referring to the members of, or what I believe is referring to the residents of Dima, who are very clearly brainwashed into following vialism and saying this line's the only way, meaning this is the only way to live. Is to live and then to die and then to give your body to vialism. And then I start down the sand. My eyes are focused on the end of land, but then again the voice inside my head says follow me instead. And that's repeated another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Wait, am I getting that right? Oh, sorry, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's repeated 11 times in total. Is follow me instead. Follow me is repeated twice, but I'm going to consider that follow me instead as overall repeated 11 times. So basically, the voice tries to get him to follow him or to get out of the road, in my analogy, 3 times. And then he considers it. He gets out of the way, but then he goes back. And as the wages of war start inside my head with my counterpart, Clancy, Blurry Face, they are 2 counter opposite beings, right? And then the emotionless marcher chants the phrase is the only way. And then I start down the sand and my eyes are focused on the end of land. But again, the voice inside my head says, follow me instead. And so that repeats for another 8 times. And each time it's repeated, it's put there. If you've ever heard the song, there's more emphasis put into each repetition until the final "Follow Me Instead" is just a straight scream. Okay, and finally, after the last "Follow Me Instead," Tyler or Clancy or whoever is perceived to be the character in this story of a song, it says, "Take me up, seal the door. I don't want to march here anymore. I realize that this line is dead, so I'll follow you instead. So then you put me back in my place, so I might start another day. And once again, I will be in a march to the sea." So, take me up, seal the door. I don't want to march here anymore. It sounds a lot like "I don't want to be here. I don't want to be there." Or I think that's the lyrics. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. It's repeated twice. What's about to happen? What's about to happen? And that is said, "I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here." And it's said a few times. Okay. It's repeated a few times in the next semester. And that sounds a whole lot like "I don't want to march here anymore. And I realize that this line is dead, meaning that he's going to die if he stays in this never-ending line of death, basically. So I'll follow you instead. So he gets out of the way. But then he's put back in his place. Now I don't know if he's referring to what exactly he's referring to in the "so then you put me back in my place, so I might start another day, and once again I will be in the march to the sea." But so I will watch the rest of this music video and we will continue. So obviously here I'm gonna test a theory real quick. I'm gonna count how many times he gets out of the way until the end.
Then I heard, "Hey kid,
So
get
this is
out
the
of the
first one.
road." I don't wanna be here, I don't wanna be here. Can't feel my legs, I might suffocate.
Can't feel my legs. I might suffocate. That calls back to Nico and Jumpsuit in the riff, where he says, "I'll be right there, but you'll have to grab my throat and lift me in the air. I'll be right there, but you'll have to tie me down and then break both of my legs." Then break both my hands, sorry. And then he repeats the first part of that where "I'll be right there, but you'll have to grab my throat and lift me in the air."
I might suffocate. I might suffocate.
Sorry.
I don't wanna be here, I don't wanna be here. Can't feel my legs.
I can't feel my legs. Might suffocate.
I might suffocate. There's a pressure in my chest. I don't wanna be here, I don't wanna be here. What's about to happen? What's
Okay, so this is perfect timing because the tattoos are very telling. I don't know about this one necessarily. That might be calling back to a different song. And also anybody who watches this video, if these tattoos have been here before, then let me know, because I've never seen them. But also I don't see Tyler Joseph shirtless a whole lot of times. Also, this is a funny picture right here. That is hilarious. Anyway, this one specifically, as I said, it looks like a door almost. And if we go back here, "Take me up, seal the door." That's kind of what makes me think this is also still referring back to March to the Sea. Anyway, enough interruptions. I will let it continue. Sorry.
It's about to happen. I remember.
Okay, 2.
I remember
3.
certain things. What I was wearing. The yellow dashes in the
5.
street.
Okay. So it was only done 5 times so far. But he did have his mask on for that one. So I don't have necessarily a theory on that, but I do kind of wonder about it.
Those lights would take me home. Then I heard, hey kid, get out of the road.
6. Now, I am curious to see what his hand signals here are. He's got one hand open, and then one hand he's got like the nice kind of thing. He's got his pointer finger and his thumb connected. Anyway, so that is almost very uncanny because the Hey Kid Get Out of the first Hey Kid Get Out of the Road where he jumped out of the way, it makes 12 overall. Meaning 12 appearances of him in the street. But I almost don't want to count the one where he's standing in there and he has his mask on, because that represents, you know, that kind of represents him revolting. Like, it didn't, like, him now, like he's now revolting against the bishops, and that's why he was wearing the mask at one point. But that was the only time he wore the mask the entire video. And so technically, if you minus the time he was wearing his mask, it does add up to 11 times. 11 times appeared in the street without the mask, obviously. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 times that Tyler in this song says "follow me instead." Now, this is the most reachy that I've been with my theories, obviously, in the video, because obviously it could just be a random coincidence, right? That he was in the street without a mask 11 times, and then the one time he was in there with a mask is obviously calling back to overcompensate, where he's starting a revolt. But yeah, so I just had to get this off my chest because it's very intriguing. This entire theory, really. So let me finish the video and then I'll wrap up with my last little remarks.
It's a taste test of what I hate less. I don't want to be here.
It's a taste test of what I hate less. I'm still trying to decipher that line myself, because that I'm trying to figure out what in the series that he hates so much, but like the only thing that I could think of was the idea that in car radio, he loses his car radio, obviously, and then he hates driving in silence. But then in Levitate, he gets his car radio back and he's can tolerate driving now. Or, obviously, besides for the metaphor that insinuates. And so it's a taste test of what I hate less. So it's calling back to his demons. If this is actually the farthest stretch I have, I think he might be referring back to the car radio. He hated his car because it had no radio. Then he got his radio back. I got back what I once bought into that, or back in that slot I won't need to replace from Levitate, obviously. And so he hates it less now, right? He hates I'm trying to figure out, he hates his demons less because he has something to drown them out with, meaning his car radio. And so I'm really trying to put it to sense in my head. And one of the theories, this is a rabbit trail, but one of the theories for this album is by the end of it, he's gonna basically gonna basically replace Blurryface. He will be Blurryface. Because as you see, his neck and his hands and also his legs as well, in past pictures were also black. I believe. I might be mistaken on that. But as you can see, he's getting his skin is getting painted blacker and blacker, meaning it's starting to overtake him. And some have theorized that he will become Blurryface by the end of the series, by the end of the album. The end of the story. And so it's a taste test of what I hate less. It's a taste test. He's experimenting with his demons, and because he hates them less than he did before, so he's more inviting of them. I don't know. That's just a far reach. That's kind of what I was thinking with those lines.
Start fresh with a new year.
Start fresh with a new year. What I think is referring to he, because obviously it's going to be a final battle, and he's going to probably overthrow the entire government of Dima, and he's going to start fresh by becoming their leader, and starting a fresh new year. Can't change what you've done.
Start fresh next semester.
Okay. Can't change what you've done. Start fresh next semester. Can't change what you've done. Either it's basically he's in it for the long run now. He can't go back. He can't change his direction. He has decided to go through with this whole final battle thing, and then start fresh next semester is obviously the same thing as start fresh with the new year, or at least that's what I think. And so can't take back or you can't change what you've done, and I think that's him Clancy coming to the realization and acceptance of he can't turn back now. He has made this choice and he must follow through with it. And also this is very well done because there's lights in the background. It's dark. It's dark all around this whole area here. And then you got one big, huge, bright light in the background. I'm not going to say it's planned, but I feel as if that's planned. And also the pose he's in, I'm not sure what that's referring to myself. But yeah, so that was next semester. And those are my thoughts on what the song might mean. Now, I have not watched any actual theories on the song yet. I'm kind of just like, this is what I believe the song to be referring to. But obviously, because like the previous lore of, or like the general lore of 21 Pilots supposedly only spans from Blurry Face and then to Trench, then to Scaled and Icy, and now obviously to Clancy. But like, also there's red tape over the eyes of all of the album covers that are part of the story. There's red tape over the eyes of the Vulture. There's Trash the Dragon has red tape over his eyes. Blurry Face has red tape over if I believe I'm getting this right, is red tape over the dot or the circle on the album cover that represents Keon's, because Keon's is dead via Scaled and Icy. And there's red tape sorry, let me continue. And those three albums are considered to be the canon story, and no one really considers the other albums. But at the same time, you have Vessel, which has red tape over top of the eyes of the grandparents on the cover. Obviously, Josh and Tyler and Josh's grandpas, I should say. And so what I'm saying is, if it's not if their previous music isn't connected, then why does Vessel have red tape? Now, I guess you could say, okay, Vessel has red tape, so some if not most of those songs are directly connected in some way, whether present, past, or future. They're connected, right? And I'm fully on board with that. But then with the whole thing about Self-Titled, which is their first album ever, they don't have red tape over that. But there is no eyes on the album cover to actually tape over. So for that, I am almost convinced that, not all of the, because like it is a far stretch, like Regional at best, it's a far stretch that one is connected. But also, we wouldn't know because Regional at best is not available anywhere but on vinyl and CD. And obviously, there's snippets of it on YouTube, but it's not actually by 21 Pilots themselves on YouTube. Like it is unheard of entirely. And like, unless people have downloads or CDs or vinyls of it, it's very hard to find like good good copies of it, and which is also something I would really like to have at some point, because I've never given that album a full listen to, because I've only heard either certain songs or snippets of certain songs from that album, because there is no place to actually find it as far as I've seen. And so that's why I don't think that one is directly connected. But all of the other albums, I believe, are directly connected. Maybe not directly, but like the ideas from the albums, at least Self-Titled, the ideas from Self-Titled are definitely reflected in the Clancy era or album so far. I might make another video on another song that I have theories about, or maybe even just the entirety of the albums. because the a lot of the albums have, or sorry, a lot of the songs in the first two albums, not including Regional at Best, but we're talking self-titled and Vessel, a lot of the songs have references or callbacks, or like pre-callbacks to songs in Heavy Dirt, or not Heavy Dirt, so Blurry Face, Trench, and Scale and Icy, and so on and so forth. And so, yeah. Anyway, this video is very long, and I apologize for anybody who has to sit here and watch this, if you even choose to. But if you do, thank you so much for watching. I will maybe make some more videos in the future. This is just something I had to get off my chest. I couldn't just like say it to myself in private and not record it, because I knew I would forget it later, and I'm glad I did, because this is the first time I've ever been so sure of a theory for 21 Pilots in my life. And so, yeah, I will definitely be keeping myself updated and keeping you guys updated on this development as it progresses. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.